Jason Barnett from the Uptake. Tell me about the Uptake first.
The Uptake. Let me think. No. The Uptake is a citizen-fueled online video organization. We train and recruit citizen journalists to tell video stories. We've been pioneering a bunch of live video type coverage over the last 2 years. The biggest recognizable thing we've done was live stream the Franken-Coleman trial, the U.S. Senate trial in Minnesota last year. About 9 months of live daily coverage of the last undecided Senate election.
And when you say live stream, so you guys just basically go there, you take your cameras, you're seeing exactly what's happening live, and is it with one of like either Mogulis or Ustream where there's a chat going on?
Yeah, livestream.com is the one we've been using most. It used to be called Mogulis, right?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and so we've been using that embed tool for a long, long time, working with them since January of 2008, actually.
So what you're doing is really kind of mobilizing people then, right? Because is it the live streaming is you have to get people who are going to come in and you sort of help them and show them how to do it, and then send them on their way?
Yeah, we operate as a pro-am model, so we have professionals on staff who are working as journalists, and then we organize as many citizens, volunteers to help add value to that coverage. So they're either doing their own independent reporting, which is like a high-level ask, or they're just helping crowdsource information or being a cameraman for one of the professionals, or a whole variety of asks we have. Basically, whatever a normal newsroom needs, we try to ask volunteers to help feed that engine. 180
question. Last night we were talking about objectivity in journalism, and I thought you had a really interesting take on it, which was, and this is me paraphrasing it, you'll probably say it better, but it was, that there's sort of this myth of left and right, sort of being biases, but there's a different type of bias, which both have, which we don't really talk about. Tell me what you meant.
Right. There's all sorts of ways you can be biased, and the most standard bias that everyone was worried about, talks about, is a left and right balance. It's a very two-dimensional, linear, thin balance form, right? It's like a teeter-totter, and it doesn't exist in reality anywhere. If you're talking about real bias, where's the money coming from? Where is the actual impact? What's being covered? And the biggest bias that I've seen, basically since 1920s on, has been a corporate bias, where the only success, the only value to anything is how much money someone makes. If a business is only valuable if it is profitable. It doesn't matter any social good anything does as long as it makes money. And that's been the single strongest bias out of almost all media that has been existent, is that everyone says that's good.
Right.
And not that it isn't good, because there can be good in that. But the bias against that, everything has been leaning in that direction.
Right. You're not saying that it's bad.
I'm not saying it's bad, but it's
unquestionably good.
Yeah. Right. And same before the Great Depression, there was a balance for more socialistic views in the media. So there's before then there was also many more voices.
Right.
And so, but after the Great Depression, this bias towards corporatist modalities, or whatever you want to call it, has been the primary bias in all media.
Okay, one last 180 question on a totally different topic.
Should I spin?
Yes. You, the Uptake, worked with Mother Jones in Copenhagen, right? And so give me the 2-3 sentence description of what it was, and then tell me what you learned from it, both for you as an organization, the Uptake, but also any lessons you think that other people should take from it.
Right. The collaboration in Copenhagen was a group of media organizations, including Mother Jones, the Uptake, The Nation, Grist, Tree Hugger. I'm sure I'm leaving out. Yeah, Center for Independent Reporting.
Bunch, you guys.
Yeah, and so there's a couple I'm forgetting, and I'm very sorry. But there's this very large group of people doing a bunch of different things. And the idea was, we're all going, we all we want to go cover this thing. How can we share resources to make each one of our content streams more valuable. And so what the Uptake did in this element was we helped provide video coverage of some of the interviews that some of the reporters from like the Mother Jones, The Nation were doing. And so when Naomi Klein had an interview with some head of state, we came in and filmed that and then produced the video with her to make a video element to her text story that was going to show up in The Nation. We did that with David Corn and Mother Jones, and so we were spreading the net wide on trying to collect interviews and stories. And whenever anyone got one, we would then pool our reporters around it, so we were all asking questions that are interest to our own audience to this interview, and then collecting video stories and that. And we're doing a lot of live video, and they're interacting with the live video. So.
What do you think it represents, or what do you think other people should take away from it outside of your cohab or?
Well, I think
cohorts.
One of the things that groups like the Media Consortium have is they have the ability to, within this membership, they have a lot of skill sets that sometimes you only see in like large media organizations. So CNN can go into cover a story and make a huge impact because they're a large organization that have all these different skill sets. Some of those skill sets exist within the Media Consortium, within the different partners. And so by partnering, you're raising the value and the distribution of all of the players involved in the collaboration. So you're widening the audience, widening the distribution, opening up the potential of getting better stories, and giving a multimedia content to everything.
Cool. Last question. Who are you and where can we find you on the web?
Oh, who am I? Jason Barnett. You can find me on Twitter at Jason Barnett. And, you can follow The Uptake at The Uptake on Twitter. And The Uptake is theuptake.org.
Sounds good. Thank you very much.
Okay.